Hi, I'm Ariel, Program Coordinator at Upham Woods Outdoor Learning Center. Today we're going to talk about 4-H youth leadership competencies. 3 pretty important things if you're considering being a camp counselor at summer camp. So the first one is planning. Planning happens before any activities actually take place. So this is pretty important if you want to have a good activity that campers are going to be interested and engaged in. So a really important piece of planning is considering the campers' needs and interests. Getting to know your campers can be a big part of the planning process. Getting to know what they like doing and the needs that they have. Sometimes those needs can be pretty basic, right? Making sure that maybe they get a snack before they do a specific activity so they can actually be engaged and not think about how hungry they are. This can also be managing details such as a location, considering where you're going to hold this activity, maybe outside of your cabin, inside your cabin, or in a different location altogether. This is also, the planning process usually happens with other people. So if you're facilitating an activity with another counselor, talking with them and planning things out in advance. So I want you to think about describing good examples of camp planning. Next, we'll talk about mentoring. So while the activity is happening, you need to consider being a good mentor to your campers. I mean, this is basically why we all want to be counselors, right? To be good mentors and to get some valuable leadership experience, right? So a big part of being a good mentor is creating and keeping a welcoming environment. So that is involving all of the campers that you are in charge of, and facilitating that teamwork and group experience. Camp is all about building relationships with others. And this is a really important job that you have as a mentor, to create those team experiences and fostering relationships with them and helping them form positive relationships with each other. And so this also goes into designing engaging experiences, but that also brings in, like we talked about a minute ago, about considering the needs and the interests of your campers. So if you're going to plan an activity that involves their interests and needs, it's going to be more engaging. A big part of being a good mentor also is listening. Listening to your campers and encouraging them to share their ideas, and making sure everybody's opinion is valued. And also just making campers feel safe. If they're not comfortable or not feeling safe, they can't have fun and build positive relationships with each other. So just making sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable. So what does good mentoring look like? Lastly, we'll talk about teaching. So this is basically the on-the-ground activity that you're doing while the activity is happening, while you are facilitating it. So again, designing engaging experiences. And sometimes this has to happen on the spot. If a camper says something that sparks an interest, roll with that. Adapt to their interest and their engagement. And so that's kind of what experiential learning is all about. Learning about your campers, about the people that you're working with, and changing that activity to make it more engaging. Also, a part of this is designing questions that engage the ideas of others. And sometimes when you think of good questions, that sparks a really good discussion with others. Another part of this is assessing the learning outcomes. After teaching, a part of teaching too is thinking about how this activity could be different, how you can change things to make it better next time. So, final question. What are examples of being a good teacher at summer camp?